aggressive. It comes at you like a ton of bricks. But this one here, absolutely spectacular. Excellent climbers, excellent swimmers, really good at going through the brush, and about the third most venomous snake on my continent, the African continent.
Even this mildly venomous snake like this false water cobra could actually be deadly to a guy like Dingo. And as you can see, we play with it all the time. So Dingo, tell me a little bit about your allergy to venom and some of your close calls that you've had.
So I've had 2 massive anaphylactic reactions, which is basically protein in this venom, my body reacting against it, shuts me down, blood pressure drops, I die within a matter. If this snake bites me, I'm dead within about a minute to a minute and a half. And this snake's got a lot of venom. So you see these big venom glands here, full up of venom. So he's going to bite you, and like a king cobra, he's going to hold on and he's going to pump. And the liquid venom is just an amber color. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. But they bite super hard, and I'll go into anaphylaxis almost instantly. That'll be it. I'll die in America.
We won't let that to happen, but you were in Bolivia once and you did almost die. And that was from a snake that wasn't even considered venomous.
Yeah, a medically non-significant snake actually bit me on the hand, massive allergic reaction within 2 minutes.
You were 5 hours away from the nearest hospital?
Yeah, so we had to go in a dugout canoe for an hour on the river. We had to go in an ambulance, and I use that word lightly. Then we had to get airlifted out. We had to bribe someone to airlift us out of the jungle and into an ICU, and I had about 57 shots of epinephrine during that 2-day period to try and keep me alive.
Got to the hospital, you weren't out of the woods by a long shot.
No, well, I got in the hospital, waiting there, drip in my arm, giving me adrenaline and epinephrine. And then what happens is the nurse, she speaks Spanish, she starts taking that drip out of my arm, and I'm like, if that drip comes out, I'm gonna die. So I'm trying to talk to her. She's Spanish. We're very confused, having a bit of an argument about it. Fortunately, my medic came in, got a new drip in before we changed across. And then we spent 2 days just getting all that adrenaline through my system in ICU.
As soon as the adrenaline stops in the drip for a bit, I get quite itchy and stuff like that, like Jason's watching that. And we're just waiting for it to wear off, and then we can get out here and carry on, but it'll be tomorrow sometime. This is the room. It's not bad. It's got an air conditioner, that's cool. First one we've seen in Bolivia. That's very cool, I'm stoked about that. Otherwise feeling okay. Love you lots. Sorry. Bye.
So why in the world would you continue to mess with animals like this with the dangers that you go through?
Have you ever seen a prettier snake than this forest cobra over here? You're looking at this, you're looking at one of the apex predators of Africa, my homeland. These snakes here, they're not scared of elephants, they're not scared of rhinos, they're not scared of people. They stand their ground, they show how big, how tough they are. The world's longest true cobra. I absolutely love them.
And you just can't get away from it, right? You just can't. Doesn't matter the danger. You've got to take more precautions now than typical, right?
Absolutely. So that's why I've got the glove on. We've got all our epinephrine. We've got everything ready to go. How do you look at an animal like this and not want to interact with it? Not fall in love with it? Every time these animals come out, I feel like I'm falling more and more in love, building more of a connection with it.
I can understand that. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. You know, I mean, I look up to people like you because of your experience with these animals and being able to just read them so well. It's just absolutely incredible to be this close to such a majestic animal, isn't it?
Absolutely. And a snake that can choose to bite us if we wanted to. We're in strike range now. Yeah. We're trying to be as careful as we can, but it's choosing not to. So it could bite us, it's choosing not to. It's standing its ground. It's being a really, really good cobra.
Well, this isn't the only amazing animal we're going to see today, but it's going to be hard to top this one. So obviously you're able to actually handle these animals because you have these special gloves, and you brought a bunch of different things to keep you safe when you're handling venomous animals on this trip. Tell me a little bit first about the gloves and what else you brought.
So I've got about 6 pairs of these gloves. Hex gloves protect me against most snake bites really. So anything like this little spectacle cobra, if this was to bite me now, I'm not going to go through the gloves. That's why we can handle it like this. And then I've got all my epinephrine, I've got steroids, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. Hard to get through TSA with most of the stuff I brought you.
I was gonna say, how is that when you're getting through vials of medicine? What did they say?
I just got strip searched. I almost had to take my kitters off to go check what's hidden in crevices on my body. You know what I mean? But we got through. So we got all the doctor's medication and all their letters and stuff, because I've got more medicine on me right now than most pharmacies do.
Exactly. But this snake is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Lovely. I love also that you can see it's a Sri Lankan, because look at the yellow on the back of the hood there.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful? And they're probably the most famous snake in the world in terms of hooding.
The shows with the little flutes. This is what you think of when you think of a cobra, right?
There you go.
I mean,
Look.
it's amazing.
I could be a snake charmer.
Look at that.
If my glove was a flute, look at it. Isn't that incredible?
Absolutely amazing. So, as a matter of fact, I see a little venom on the glove itself. So we
Yeah.
might want to be a little bit careful, because we don't want you, literally, that venom gets into your nasal and you're going to start to break out, right?
Yeah, so now, if that venom touches me anywhere on my skin, or if I breathe it in, I'm going to break out in welts all over my neck. I'm going to start sneezing. That's one of the first signs, and I'll get itchy. If I touch anywhere by my eyes or any, if I do that, and there's venom around me, then my eyes will start shutting down. But it'll be in the matter of about a minute or so. Or if he poos on me.
So we better get through this fast. We don't want anything to happen to Dingo. And by the way, guys, do me a huge favor. If you want to see awesome content like this all the time, you can go over to Dingo's channel, show him some love. He has the most insane stuff going on over there. Going to have all the links in the description. Go tell him I sent you. Dingo, tell me a little bit about these black forest cobras.
The black ones, North Africa. This here, you can see the hood marking on the back of the hood there. It looks like a skull. Can't believe I can get this close to forest cobra. This is the most chilled out forest cobra I've ever seen. It's got that skull mark, and that tells me it comes from Togo locality. Right up northwest Africa. And they actually are the most crazy of all the forest cobras that we find throughout Africa.
But not this one.
Not this one, look at it!
Look at it.
It's like you could pick it up and lift it up to the camera. It's just going to stay hooded.
Now you have some forest cobras that are a lot different, huh?
Mate, we would have these forest cobras attached to our beak if it was off. We got Shadow and Storm, absolutely psychotic. They'd be chasing us around the room. We'd be climbing up all the enclosures, yeah, trying to get away from them. But that's what I love about these animals. And this snake's got the potential to do that too, but it's choosing not to. It's really intelligent.
Dingo, I've got a treat for you. This is one of my favorite snakes. I love this animal.
Woo!
So gorgeous. Look at that thing, right?
That is dark.
This, of course, is a timber rattlesnake, but a black one. Look at that little monkey right there. If you guys don't remember, we actually did a venom test with this one. I'm going to put a card right here on it. Absolutely incredible. Look how many buttons he has.
That is beautiful. How old would you say this rat is?
It's about 5.5 years old.
I've only ever worked with one timber rattler before, but it wasn't this dark and this beautiful.
I know, isn't it incredible? This is one of the darker ones I've seen too. His name is Bert, by the way.
Bert, not Midnight, not Black Beauty, not Night Fury. Went with Bert.
Beautiful animal, and it was amazing what this venom actually did. Now, the normal ranges are more hemotoxic. The southern ranges are actually more neurotoxic, believe it or not. So depending on where this animal is from, it's going to depend on what the venom actually is, which makes it really interesting. The effects this had on my blood were really quite interesting. Within a matter of an hour, my blood was like literally just like liquid, like water.
Timbers, are they getting quite big?
Well, this is pretty big here. They'll get a little bit larger, but not much larger than that. This is a pretty large animal right here.
Now, what scares me about rattlesnake venom is, as you're saying there, as the locality changes, the venom changes. So,
Right.
from what I've seen, I've had mates like Rob who got bitten by a Southern Pacific rattlesnake, but the impact and the venom on him was absolutely catastrophic and really difficult for doctors to treat.
Right.
Because there's all these concoctions, there's different things happening if you get bitten to if I get bitten, and it seems like a really difficult snake bite to treat.
Absolutely. I mean, when you literally get into some Mojave rattlesnakes, for instance, or even pygmy rattlesnakes, you think of pygmy rattlesnakes as not very venomous, right? But there are certain ranges of pygmy rattlesnakes that are actually very, very toxic and can kill you. So again, it just depends on where it's from and what the venom structure is. That protein in the venom could be radically different. Myotoxin, hemotoxin, neurotoxin, cardiotoxin. I mean, it can have all kinds of different things, and it really depends. So it does make it a really difficult thing if, say, something like crowfat doesn't work. If it's a neurotoxic bite, that crowfat isn't going to do much.
That's what worries me about rattlesnakes, is that it seems like you've got so many. You know, in Africa we got puff adders. But the puff adder, you got cytotoxic, hemotoxic, that's it. It's gonna rot you off. It's bad. It's pretty simple to treat, you know? Whereas these guys seem really, really complicated, really difficult for most doctors to know what they're doing, and they're treating you from a rattlesnake bite.
There you go. He's calming down now. 57 shots of an EpiPen. What kind of effect does that have on you?
As you're going down from your shock, you just feel like you're dying. You can't breathe, you can't talk, and as you go down, next minute the adrenaline hits you. They're giving it to me in my vein. They weren't giving it in the shoulder. So in the vein, next minute your whole body goes and it feels like you're almost being, I don't know, levitating. And then you can breathe again, you can talk again, and then you're back for about a minute or two. And then you crash again, then it's another shot into your vein. And they were giving me double the dosage you would normally give somebody in the arm. So it was a massive amount. Top part of my heart stopped working for a period of time. So we were really worried that I was either going to have a heart attack from all the epinephrine, or that was going to kill me. The allergic reaction was going to kill me.
And yet here you are, inches away from an animal that could literally put you down. That shows me the passion you have for this. You just can't quit it, right?
I can't. It's like a drug in all the good senses. I want to take this animal and bring it into people's living rooms and bring it into their homes and into some of you right now, you're watching us sitting on the toilet, you dirty buggers. But you want to see this animal in your lives and in your house because it's a beautiful animal. It's a keystone species. It's an animal that has a right to live and coexist with us, and we can coexist with these animals. That's what it's about. So we don't have to kill this animal just because it may scare us, but that we can coexist with it. And look at this.
Unbelievable. Well, that's the thing. The message is absolutely incredible. A man that could literally die still continues not only to work on because your passion, you're just so committed to other people loving these animals as well.
That's what it's about. It's about building a connection. You might live in a place you're never going to see a forest cobra. And maybe that's a good thing. It's not going to come into your house. But you can still build a connection with it through videos, through vlogs like yours. People are seeing animals they'd never normally see, and they can fall in love with them like we fall in love with them. We want to show people what we're seeing right now. So we're right here. I'm like, how many inches is this?
5 inches away.
5 inches away from a deadly cobra. And you can see the back of the hood. You can see the skull marking on the back. You can see these beautiful, shiny, glossy scales. Little spark on the end of the tail. And the eye, look how clever they are here. Look at that. Even behind it, it's got better peripheral vision than I do. And it's watching us, and it's watching us. It's just incredible that we can bring people into our world so they see animals through our eyes.
I could sit here all day with this cobra and just chat with you. It seems like it's enjoying the stories too.
Yeah.
Very curious, isn't it?
Tongue flicking, and it's not.
No, it's definitely more like a food type. Last up, we actually have an albino monocle cobra, but this monocle cobra is so mellow, it acts more like a king snake, to be honest with you. It can definitely still pack quite a bit of a punch, so we don't want to get bit, there's no doubt about that. But what do you think, Dingo? What do you think about a cobra that doesn't hood?
It's a bit of a rat snake, isn't it? But I must say, monocle cobras, my first experience with them, I went to India. There were some spectacle cobras, obviously, but there were also some monocle cobras there, and to see them in their home ranges and their homeland is beautiful. And these guys, of course, now come in all these magnificent colors. I don't know if it's a sunset or whatever this is, but they're beautiful snakes, very venomous.
Yeah, they've got some nasty venom. I mean, they're responsible for a lot of snake bites over in India. And a lot of times, honestly, monocles are usually very willing to bite. This little one here seems like it just wants to hang out. And I gotta tell you, this is the first time I've used these Hex gloves. This is amazing that I can actually touch a cobra like this close and not have to worry. That is incredible, absolutely incredible.
Amazing.
I'm getting a pair of these for sure. I mean, these are amazing. I'm going to buy a pair for Bruce too because he needs a pair just to be safe too. This is incredible. But Dingo, it's amazing to have you here. Like I said, go show him some love. An amazing person, amazing message. I can't say enough about you, man. I tell you what, I love you to death. And by the way, you're going to see him at Kevin McCurley's. You're going to see him at Gatorland. You're going to see him at Chandler's. You're going to see him at Crocodile Kyle's. He's going to be all over the place over the next little bit. So definitely watch their channels to see him as well because it's absolutely incredible. And your family's amazing too.
Thank you, mate. Well, thanks for having us because this has been one of the highlights of all of our lives. The last 2 days we spent with you have it's changed our lives, and we couldn't thank you enough. You're a legend. You're a legend. Brian Barczyk is a legend.
And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that